What if everything you've been told about green card travel restrictions in 2026 is completely wrong? Right now, thousands of immigrants are canceling flights, avoiding family visits, and living in fear because of viral posts that had zero basis in official policy. I spent hours digging through White House proclamations, DHS memos, and State Department guidance to bring you the truth. And what I found might shock you. If you're a green card holder or planning to become one, you need to hear this. There's been massive confusion online about travel restrictions in 2026, and I'm seeing panic spreading through immigrant communities based on incomplete or misleading information. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the verified facts directly from official White House and Department of Homeland Security sources about what's actually happening with immigration policy right now. Whether you hold a green card, you're waiting for one, or you're trying to understand how the new travel restrictions work, this video will cut through the confusion and give you accurate, actionable information. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also explain exactly what steps you should take to protect yourself and stay informed. Welcome back to U.S. Policy Brief. I'm Fernando, and I'm here to provide you with accurate, verified immigration information during a time when rumors and misinformation are spreading rapidly. Today, we're addressing one of the biggest concerns I've been hearing from our community: claims about a supposed freeze on green card holder travel. Let's start with the most important fact. Green card holders are not subject to a travel freeze. Let me repeat that clearly, because this is crucial information. If you are a lawful permanent resident of the United States, you are explicitly exempted from the travel restrictions that took effect on January 1st, 2026. However, there are significant new immigration policies that went into effect, and it's critical that you understand what they actually say and who they actually affect. Let's walk through exactly what the White House announced, what official sources confirm, and what this means for different categories of immigrants and visa applicants. What the White House actually announced. On December 16, 2025, President Trump issued Presidential Proclamation 10998, titled Restricting and Limiting the Entry of Foreign Nationals to Protect the Security of the United States. This proclamation took effect at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 1st, 2026. This is a major expansion of immigration restrictions, but it's important to understand exactly what it does and doesn't do. The proclamation restricts entry to the United States by nationals of 39 countries, plus individuals traveling on Palestinian Authority-issued travel documents. This more than doubles the number of countries that were affected by an earlier travel ban issued in June 2025, which covered 19 countries. The proclamation creates two categories of restrictions. First, there are full entry restrictions. 19 countries face full suspension, meaning nationals from these countries are barred from both immigrant and non-immigrant visa issuance. These countries include Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Burma, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, as well as individuals traveling on Palestinian Authority-issued documents. Second, there are partial entry restrictions affecting 20 additional countries. For these nations, the restrictions suspend immigrant visa issuance and certain categories of non-immigrant visas, specifically B1, B2, F, M, and J visas for temporary visitors, students, and exchange visitors. Who is actually affected? This is where we need to be very precise about the language. The travel ban applies only to nationals of the impacted countries who are outside the United States on January 1st, 2026, and do not hold a valid visa on that date. If you already had a valid visa before January 1st, 2026, that visa was not revoked. No visas issued before January 1st, 2026 at 12:01 a.m. EST have been or will be revoked pursuant to the proclamation, according to the U.S. Department of State. you can continue to use your existing valid visa for travel. Critical exemptions. Green card holders. Now let's address the most important exemption for many viewers. U.S. lawful permanent residents, or green card holders, are explicitly exempt from the full or partial restrictions, regardless of nationality, and can continue to travel and re-enter the U.S. Let me be absolutely clear about what this means. If you hold a valid green card, you can travel outside the United States and return even if you are a national of one of the 39 restricted countries. The travel ban does not apply to you. Lawful permanent residents of the U.S. or green card holders are exempted from the travel restrictions. This exemption is stated explicitly in the presidential proclamation and has been confirmed by multiple legal analysis sources, including major immigration law firms and government agencies. Important clarification about green card applications. However, there is a separate issue that affects people who are trying to get a green card, not people who already have one. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, in a memo, said it would pause reviewing all pending applications for green cards, citizenship, or asylum from immigrants from 19 countries listed in a previous travel ban. This processing pause is different from a travel restriction. It means that if you have applied for a green card and you are a national of one of these countries, USCIS has placed your application on hold for additional review. This affects pending applications, not people who already have their green cards. The USCIS policy memorandum states that applications from nationals of the restricted countries will undergo enhanced review processes, potentially including re-interviews, and there may be re-reviews of previously approved applications for individuals from these countries who entered the U.S. on or after January 20th, 2021. New biometric requirements. While green card holders are exempt from the travel ban itself, there is one new requirement that affects all non-U.S. citizens, including lawful permanent residents. Starting December 26, 2025, new biometric entry-exit requirements went into effect. Green card holders from certain countries face enhanced screening and must now provide biometric data at every border crossing. This means that when you enter or exit the United States, Customs and Border Protection officers will collect biometric information such as photographs and fingerprints. This is a security measure that applies broadly to non-citizens, not specifically to green card holders from restricted countries, although those individuals may face additional scrutiny. The key point is that this is a documentation and screening requirement, not a ban on travel. What this means for different groups. Let me break down what these policies mean for different categories of people. If you are a current green card holder, you can continue to travel internationally and return to the United States. Make sure your green card is not expired. Carry documentation showing your ties to the United States, and be prepared for biometric collection at ports of entry. Your travel rights have not been restricted. If you are applying for a green card, and you are from one of the 19 nationalities subject to the USCIS processing pause, your application is currently on hold pending additional review. This does not mean your application is denied, but processing times will be significantly longer. Monitor your case status through USCIS and consult with an immigration attorney about your options. If you are from one of the 39 countries subject to the travel ban, and you want to visit the United States or apply for an immigrant visa, new visa issuance has been suspended, either fully or partially, depending on your country of nationality. Individuals from the impacted countries currently holding valid visas may continue to use those visas for travel to the United States, but obtaining new visas will be extremely difficult or impossible during the restrictions remain in effect. If you are a dual national, you may be able to avoid the restrictions by traveling on a passport from a non-restricted country. Dual nationals of the restricted countries traveling on the passport of an unrestricted country, for example, a Haitian-French dual national entering the U.S. on their French passport, are exempted. Other notable exemptions beyond green card holders. The proclamation includes several other categories of exemptions. These include certain diplomats and government officials, athletes and support staff participating in the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics, certain special immigrant visa holders, including U.S. government employees and ethnic and religious minorities from Iran facing persecution. There is also a waiver process, though it's limited. The proclamation allows for case-by-case waivers at the discretion of the Secretary of State when granting entry would serve a U.S. national interest. However, these waivers are expected to be rare and difficult to obtain. Practical steps to take based on these official policies. Here are the concrete steps you should take depending on your situation. For current green card holders, first verify that your green card is not expired or about to expire. If it's expiring within 6 months, file for a renewal immediately. Second, make sure USCIS has your current address on file. You are legally required to update your address within 10 days of moving. Third, when traveling internationally, gather documentation of your ties to the United States, including tax returns, employment verification, property documents, and family information. Fourth, be prepared for potential delays and questioning at ports of entry, especially if you are from one of the restricted countries. Answer all questions truthfully and calmly. You have the right to return to the United States as a lawful permanent resident. For people with pending green card applications, check the USCIS website and your case status regularly. If your application is subject to the processing pause, document all communications from USCIS and respond promptly to any requests for additional information. Consider consulting with a qualified immigration attorney who can assess your specific case and advise you on options. Do not assume your application is denied just because it's on hold. For people outside the United States from affected countries, if you had a valid visa before January 1st, 2026, that visa remains valid, and you should be able to use it, though you may face additional screening. If you need a new visa, and you're from one of the 39 restricted countries, understand that visa issuance is currently suspended. Monitor official State Department guidance for any policy changes. Consider whether you qualify for any of the exemption categories. If you believe you may qualify for a national interest waiver, consult with an immigration attorney about how to apply. Where to find official information. It's critical that you verify information from official sources rather than relying on social media posts or secondhand information. Here are the authoritative sources you should check. The White House official website at whitehouse.gov publishes the full text of presidential proclamations. The December 16, 2025 proclamation is available there. The State Department's Bureau of Consular Affairs at travel.state.gov provides updated guidance on visa restrictions and travel bans. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services at uscis.gov hosts policy memoranda, processing updates, and guidance on benefit applications. Customs and Border Protection at cbp.gov provides information about entry requirements and procedures at ports of entry. For legal analysis and interpretation, reputable immigration law firms publish alerts and guidance. Organizations like the American Immigration Lawyers Association also provide resources. Understanding the legal framework. The President has authority to restrict entry under Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, which allows the President to suspend or restrict the entry of any class of aliens if their entry would be detrimental to the interests of the United States. This authority has been used before. During the first Trump administration, similar travel restrictions were implemented and were ultimately upheld by the Supreme Court, though they faced significant legal challenges and were modified several times during the litigation process. The current proclamation states that there will be periodic government reviews every 180 days to assess whether the restrictions should be continued, modified, suspended, or supplemented. This means the list of countries and the nature of the restrictions could change over time. Impact on family-based immigration. One significant change in the December 2025 proclamation compared to earlier travel bans is the elimination of certain exemptions. The proclamation eliminates prior exemptions from the June 2025 travel ban for immediate relatives, including spouses, unmarried children under 21 years of age, and parents of U.S. citizens applying for immigrant visas. This means that even if you are the spouse, minor child, or parent of a U.S. citizen, if you are a national of one of the restricted countries and you are outside the United States without a valid visa on January 1st, 2026, you will be subject to the entry restrictions. This represents a significant hardening of policy compared to previous travel bans, which typically exempted immediate relatives of U.S. citizens. What 90 days actually refers to? Now, let me address where the 90 days confusion may have come from. The USCIS agency said in a memo that within 90 days, it would create a prioritized list of immigrants for review and, if necessary, referral to immigration enforcement or other law enforcement agencies. This 90-day timeline refers to how long USCIS has to create a prioritized review list for pending applications from the restricted countries. It does not refer to a 90-day freeze on green card holder travel. The two are completely separate issues, and the confusion between them has caused unnecessary panic in immigrant communities. Rights of lawful permanent residents. It's important to understand your rights as a green card holder. You have the right to return to the United States. You have the right to due process under the Constitution, which means the government cannot arbitrarily strip you of your status without proper procedures. If you are questioned at a port of entry and an officer suggests you have abandoned your permanent residence or asks you to sign forms relinquishing your status, you have the right to request to speak with an attorney. You have the right to a hearing before an immigration judge. Do not sign any document you do not fully understand, and do not make statements that could be used against you without first consulting with legal counsel. Organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and various legal aid organizations often provide resources and sometimes emergency assistance during periods of heightened immigration enforcement. Looking ahead, immigration policy in the United States remains in flux. The current administration has signaled its intention to pursue more restrictive immigration policies across multiple categories. We've already seen expanded travel bans, processing pauses for certain applications, increased vetting requirements, new biometric collection mandates, proposed changes to the public charge rule that would make it harder to get green cards, and dramatically reduced refugee admissions. For anyone navigating the U.S. immigration system right now, whether as a green card holder, visa applicant, or someone seeking permanent residence, the key strategies are: stay informed through official sources, document everything, understand your rights, seek qualified legal advice when needed, and maintain flexibility in your planning. To summarize the key points, there is no travel freeze for green card holders. Lawful permanent residents are explicitly exempt from the travel restrictions that took effect January 1st, 2026. You can continue to travel internationally and return to the United States. However, there are significant restrictions affecting nationals of 39 countries who want to obtain new visas or enter the United States. There is a processing pause affecting pending applications from 19 countries for green cards, citizenship, and asylum. And there are new biometric requirements at all ports of entry that apply to all non-citizens, including green card holders. The immigration landscape is complex, and policies are changing rapidly. That's exactly why this channel exists, to give you accurate, verified information from official sources so you can make informed decisions about your immigration status and your future. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with anyone in your community who might be confused about these policies. Subscribe to US Policy Brief and turn on notifications so you don't miss critical updates as immigration policies continue to evolve. Check the description below for links to all the official government resources I mentioned, including the full text of the presidential proclamation, USCIS policy guidance, and State Department visa information. Remember, this video provides general educational information based on publicly available official sources as of February 2026. It is not legal advice and cannot substitute for consultation with a qualified immigration attorney about your specific circumstances. If you have individual concerns about your status or your travel, please speak with a professional who can give you personalized guidance. Your immigration status matters. Your rights matter. And accurate information matters. Stay informed, stay prepared, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. My name is Fernando. This is US Policy Brief. I'll see you in the next update.